Hey guys, Adrian here, your digital dojo, and today I have a series for you guys called The Dojo. We're going to be taking a playlist. I'm going to be making a series of videos in the dojo where it's kind of my classroom 101, and it's going to be pertaining to that of online business. Taking a venture online and changing that into a business, and some of the tips and advice I've learned along the way. I started this channel to help you out with your technology needs and all that, and one of the big aspects of that is, um, you know, taking what you're passionate about and maybe you want to pursue a career online or pursue a business online, whether it's a product or service. I want to share some of those tips I picked up along the 8 years I've been on the web, and now obviously the last couple of years spending as a full-time, self-employed, running right now, managing two profitable businesses online. So that being said, I did just return from Tokyo if you don't follow my main channel, so I've been gone for quite a while, so I have a pile of content coming your guys' way, and this is going to be a playlist, like I said, so you can watch it, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, somebody who's a YouTuber, tech YouTuber, whatever, you want to look into the aspect of changing into a business, whether you maintain a business already that is profitable and successful, just some tips along the way that may help you out. So in today's video, the first one, we're going to be talking about the main thing and the introduction to it all is how do you know when a hobby becomes a business? How do you handle that transition and when to kind of go about that? Does it remain a hobby? Is it time to take the next step into an actual formal business? And it all starts out with passion. My YouTube channel here started out with just me being passionate about technology and sharing my opinions on it. I never knew it was going to be a profitable thing. I never knew that it was going to be something that I would eventually work full time as and work from home in a home office. That was, never the plan, but it just kind of happened because I was really passionate about it. So let's get into number one. Technically speaking, I want to get all the technical things out of the way. Profits. Obviously, when your hobby starts to generate profits, and by profits, I mean after your expenses, maybe you have employees, you pay employees. After that, the money you pocket, that's your profit essentially. Are you generating profits? Are you going to start having to pay taxes? The IRS has a kind of a list to look at when your hobby is really kind of generating money like that of a business. Are you generating a certain income? Are you spending a lot of time on this? Is this paying for your full, your lifestyle essentially? Is this your full-time job? Because then obviously we can look at it as a business. Getting more technical, have you filed things like licenses or LLCs and things like that, which you can get online. Once you do that in your state or wherever you may reside in, that's when it becomes, obviously more technically speaking, a business. Now, number two, the time you invest in it. The saying goes, the time is money, and essentially I really believe in that because I think time is a reflection of how you value yourself. Who and what you spend your time doing is how you value yourself. So, I know people who want to pursue things as a hobby and they have maybe they're trying to develop an iOS app, they want to become a full-time developer, they're working on the site, whatever it may be, and they have a 9 to 5 job and they get home and at night they set aside 2 to 3 hours. That's a real great way to kind of test the waters. It's a real great way to keep it a hobby after your 9 to 5 job, because maybe you got to put food on the table. Life occurs, you got to pay bills, you have a family to take care of, so you can't per se work full-time in that one area yet, but setting aside a couple hours a day, investing a couple hours every day in your hobby is a great way to kind of test the waters. Now again, if you're finding you're investing way more time in your hobby rather than that of whatever maybe your day job or something else that you do, then that's something you may want to consider. Is this profitable enough where I can do it full-time? That's where you know where to invest your time in. Number three, I also want to know that I remember hearing that a quote that saying, it's how you handle the business in the end, if you conduct it in a business manner. So I also want to put out there, you can have a full-time job and still have a business on the side. Very much so. I know a lot of people who do that. If that's what you want to do, you can have a side business and stuff like that. It's how you conduct it. If you conduct it as a business, if you conduct your hobby, maybe you're tracking invoices, you're logging expenses and all of that. You're doing all that formal stuff versus, just me messing around, programming, and it's just a hobby. But maybe you have a couple sales, maybe you have a community, whatever it may be, then you can, it's how you handle that and conduct that in a business manner, and then definitely it can be considered a business. Number four, and that is making the decision, again, kind of translating or equivalent to that of number three, a side business. Now, some people, it's the biggest thing in this whole entrepreneurial thing and hobby to business is that big gap in between. A lot of people are afraid to make that leap because of failure, because of all these things. Here's the thing, I'm not promoting failure, but I am saying you're probably bound to fail in specific areas. Now, the facts are startups, percentage of them that actually succeed is, you have a small amount of chance to really succeed out there as an entrepreneur. But there are definitely people out there who are changing the game, who are making innovative stuff. I'm not saying you're gonna fail. I'm just saying you got to be ready for that transition, that big leap, because some people can't really, leave the security of this to go to this. And it is a big thing. So some people like to maintain it as a side business, like I said, while working their day job and having a little bit of extra profits on the side. But, as a full-time entrepreneur, I think of entrepreneurs as people who take risk, who really go against the status quo. And to take a leap like that really shows your belief in a product or service that that you trust your business to generate a full-time profit, that you just trust that your business is going to be a success going down the road. Now, I was in a fortunate position. I didn't have a day job. I started when I was 11. I am now at 19, not going to college. I am sustaining a full-time income from the businesses I manage, and I'm making pretty good money at 19. So, the path is clear to me, but it's going to be different for every other person. So that's something you got to consider. Last but not least, goals. You got to set goals, in the beginning of your hobby. If you want to even consider making it into a business, maybe you have a YouTube thing and you want to set goals. Well, if you're a YouTuber and you want to transition into trying to generate a full-time income, which is totally possible, a lot of people do it. It takes hard work. It takes an audience. It takes all of that. You want to set goals. Well, first off, you got to achieve YouTube partnership. That's the way you're going to generate any sort of revenue from YouTube in itself. You can obviously use YouTube to sell products, to promote specific things and generate income that way. But what I'm saying is, as a YouTube partner, that's probably one of your goals you want to set. Maybe then you want to set a goal of, I need this many subscribers, I need this many views, and so on. I need to ramp up, I need to do this many videos a week, whatever it may be. The same thing on the business side. I need to make this much a month, I need to make this much in the next month, and so on and so forth. And I think a really good advice, if you are somebody, I've talked to a lot of people who want to transition from that of a full-time job to a, this hobby and passion they have to really pursue it, because sometimes it's not always about the money. Yes, life is about the money, in fact, that you need money to pay your bills and all of that. But what I mean by that is, sometimes I know people who will quit something that they found a steady and a good amount of income for something that they're more passionate about, and at first they're not generating as much as they used to, but they're getting by. You want to make sure, obviously, first and foremost, you get by, and you have a trust and passion in what you're going to do. But again, the thing is, you also want to have security. I think a big advice I give always is to kind of set aside 2 to 3 months salary just in case, as a cushion. So just in case your business, whatever it is you're pursuing, isn't going as well in the first couple months, you have that extra money set aside to take care of rent, so on and so forth. And just kind of wrapping it up, you, as an entrepreneur, one of the big advantages, I think, is, when you work a day-to-day job, you get paid maybe an average salary. Maybe it's $9, maybe it's $7 an hour. Maybe if you're lucky, you get a higher end, $20 plus an hour. That's usually your fixed income. Now, that's one of the things you get with a job when you're employed. It's a fixed income. You don't have necessarily, I don't believe in the word job security. You can get fired, whether you're self-employed, you can tank, or you work for a corporation, you can get fired. There's no such thing to me as job security. But yes, you get a fixed income of whatever an hour. As an entrepreneur, as somebody like myself, the big advantage to me is the work I put in day to day. One day I can make triple. One day I can make double. I can make maybe, $100, $250, $500, $1,000 an hour today, or tomorrow I can make $2,000 an hour. It's the work I put in. I have really profitable days, and sometimes days that aren't as profitable but are still considered, a success. It's the work you put in into your business. If you run a client services business like I do, well, one day I can pick up multiple clients and make a really good income or profit off of that day. Again, it's fluctuating. It's not always fixed. Like, in corporations and stuff like that, obviously, if you have a big business going. But what I'm saying is, it's the amount of work you're going to put in that you're going to get your return for. That's one of the big advantages I have as being somebody who is self-employed. So that's something you want to consider. Again, you want to set goals for yourself, transitioning your hobby into a business. And once it is a business, you want to set goals for that business, projections, especially if you're going to have employees. You got to set aside that cash, how much you're going to pay them. All of that stuff matters when it's an official business. So these are just some things to take in consideration. I know this is a really long video, but these are really important key things that I learned along the way, taking a hobby and making it profitable and eventually into a business and company that I own and operate today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have a ton of more content coming for you guys. I'll catch you all in the next video.